know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it back there. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it turnpike miles. Yeah, it's Buku signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't even have a deal, yeah, I battle through these.
Welcome back, everyone, to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy J. Ludis, and for today, I want to address something each of us struggles with and could be struggling with on a daily basis, and that is your vice. That habit that you run to, that decision that may not be the best. We all have a vice, and unless you let someone into your personal life, you're really the only one who knows what that vice is. For some people, it's a drink. Or two, maybe even more after that stressful day. Maybe it's a cigarette when that anxiety, that stress really starts to kick in. For some people, maybe it's looking something up on the internet when that loneliness or that lack really tries to make its way into your mind. Again, you know what your vice is, and that's why this is today's message. Given the last few months of quarantine and then trying to reconnect with people, you start to really see how that isolation took its course. And sitting in our homes, for many, that vice may have built a strong grip in your life. And now, in figuring out what yours is, you truly have the power to break it. Because our vices affect us in ways that we don't comprehend at first. In giving into a bad habit, we stunt our growth. And not necessarily physically, depending on your habit, but definitely mentally and spiritually. The more that vice finds its way into our days, the more we begin to rely on it. And the more that we begin to rely on it, the less we can focus our attention onto something that truly matters. And again, the quarantine, how many of us haven't been able to do much at all because jobs have been shut down? You know how easy it is for a vice to set in when we have nothing else on our minds? I'm someone that likes to think abstractly about certain topics. And with the quarantine, you can't help but wonder why. And depending on where you sit spiritually or faithfully, there's a plan. So if there's a plan, what's your part? If each of us has a part, but we're clouded by our habits, where do we get? Nowhere. That's why that question of what is your vice is today's topic. Because if you can identify that, you can identify the root of that habit. And then you identify the roots, you begin to make adjustments for the real reasons that habit set in the first place. What if that's the grand reason for the pandemic? And yes, I know that I'm stepping on toes right now, but good, let's shake things up a bit. You think about the place the world is in and was in? It's terrible. Why? Go to the root, the people. How do you fix that? The people need to go to their roots of their habits and behaviors. And the only way to do that is to be put in timeout, aka quarantine. Are there bigger plans at work? Maybe. Are there bigger plans for you? 100%. But if you get tripped up with your vice, which we all have at one time or another, it'll slow you down and stunt your growth to reaching those bigger plans. Get to the root of your vice. Put an end to that habit, and you will unlock a whole new level of possibilities for yourself because you get a whole portion of your life back. Use that well. That's why I love life coaching. When someone is truly trying to change their life and become a success, but doesn't know how, and then you identify with them limitations and potential barriers, addressing the root of habits can change everything. Just identifying them brings enlightenment for most, and then changing them, that brings them possibilities. So what is your vice? Many people we look up to have had vices, and because they didn't or couldn't stop them, they end up in the news. If we don't step in and control our own habits, they grow to the point of taking us over. And as stated before, it stunts your growth. Why let something that you have complete control over take you over and stop you from getting more out of this life? That's a question that each and every single one of us really needs to answer, including me. And that's the question that I want to leave you with. Don't let something that you control and decide on take your life over and truly lead it down a path that you weren't even meant to be on in the first place. What could you change right now? Think about that. But guys, like this message on YouTube, share this message to someone who needs help with this exact topic. And then hit that subscribe button below for more once a week videos every single Sunday. And then lastly, if you or anyone that you know is in need of someone to step in and help you make the changes you need to make to help you figure out the root of your habit, go to BillyGLifeCoaching.com and reach out to me. Until next week, guys.